being an artist and a producer is confusing for sure. I think it makes me probably, if there were enough time in the day, that's the real frustration. I think they dovetail into each other creatively, certainly. I think my work as an artist definitely, absolutely has made me, a better producer. I mean, I can't really imagine producing without experience as an artist, both in terms of understanding what it is to create something, but also knowing what kind of process is helpful. I mean, I've had situations where I've worked with people as an artist and not felt comfortable in the studio, or not been, happy with the process. And so certainly my artist work has helped my producing, because I know what it's like to be on the other side and wanting a song to come to life in the right way. And so I have techniques of like, okay, what would have been good for me as an artist if I'd been working with someone? What would I have needed from somebody in the studio, technically, emotionally, from a producer, to get performance out of me? So in that way they do dovetail, but certainly, there's only so much time in the day and in the week, and for me it's definitely something that I have to balance, because I don't want to be producing all the time, and I do other things. I also play bass in another band, and that takes a lot of time, and is sort of the vacation form of music. I mean, it's fun. I show up, I play, we go on tour. It's fun, but it's the least stress. But it's a challenge. I mean, I think people. I think the producers that I have most admired generally have careers as artists as well. People like Brian Eno, even though my productions aren't like Brian Eno. Maybe because I figure, he's done it. I don't. There are a lot of guys who. I think philosophically I've been influenced by that, but he had a career as an artist, and career as a visual artist as well. But he thinks creatively about everything that he does, and I think that's the most important kind of creative connection between those things, to continually be thinking creatively. But certainly, the artist, there's kind of an odd thing in the business of, I think this has always been true for whatever reason in the rock and pop world. People don't want their artists to be smart, or to be sort of cognizant of what they're doing. There's a sort of myth, I think, in the culture of the artist sort of emerging fully formed out of the muck, and people like the idea of sort of like the fully formed native talent, which I think is largely bullshit. That just, anyone who makes great work has been working at it and doing something for it. But the odd sort of connection of being a producer and an artist is, people assume a producer, okay, that's like a smart person who's thinking about the craft and whatever. They want their artist to be like, I don't know, I just write these songs and they just came out perfectly, and so that is sort of an odd battle, certainly, and for me, something that I'm aware, having had meetings with record executives where I got into arguments with them, and I've had, gone before record labels back when there were record labels, but where they don't they don't want to deal with someone who, and I've talked with other artists about this, like, this is something I've heard time and time again, is there are a lot of people who don't want to deal with someone who knows what they're talking about or has strong opinions and can back them up. They want an artist who's sort of doe-eyed, and a producer is kind of the opposite of that. So that's, how to resolve that, I don't know. I think the industry is changing for the better in a lot of areas, and for the better about that, other than the fact that there's no money in it anymore. But the actual way it works is becoming better. It's just that the actual dollars are evaporating, because people don't buy records anymore, for the most part. not entirely, but it's going in that direction sort of continually. So so yeah, it's a time battle between artist and producer. It's a sort of moral battle. It's a PR battle of like, are you the, you know, Kurt Cobain who came from under the bridge, or the, you know, Bob Dylan who pretended to be some sort of like salt of the earth guy who rode pickup trucks playing with migrant workers, and I mean, to some degree created an idea of himself as this kind of native birth out of the American soil, when in fact he played the folk scene under his given name for years, and sort of constructed an identity. That is very different from the idea that people have of a producer who's more of like a competent person, you know, an adult or whatever. The artist is supposed to be sort of a child, I think, in a way. So I think that's actually, in a way, what the debate is. But, you know, people want their artists to be children who don't understand what they're doing, but we love what they're doing. And everybody assumes a producer is like, knows what the f they're doing. So